Hello and welcome to Listen and Learn English. In today's lesson, we are going to talk about phone addiction and how it affects our daily life, habits, and communication. Many people today spend a lot of time on their phones, often more than they realize. This can affect productivity, sleep, focus, and even relationships. In this lesson, you will hear a longer and more detailed conversation between Emma and Patrick. Emma feels that she might be spending too much time on her phone, and Patrick helps her reflect on her habits and think about possible changes. During the conversation, you will hear how to talk about habits, express concerns, describe problems, and suggest solutions in a natural and realistic way. Try to listen carefully to how they describe daily habits and routines, express concern and self-reflection, give advice and suggestions, and react naturally in conversation. You will hear useful phrases like, I spend too much time on my phone. I can't stop checking it. It's becoming a bad habit. I need to change this. These are very common expressions that you can use in real-life conversations. Don't worry if you don't understand every word. Focus on the general meaning and the emotions behind the conversation. You can listen to this lesson more than once to improve your listening skills and become more confident in speaking. Are you ready? Let's begin.
Hey Emma, you seem a bit distracted today. Is everything okay? Or is something on your mind that's making it hard for you to focus on what you're doing?
Honestly, I've been thinking a lot about how much time I spend on my phone, and I'm starting to feel like it's becoming a serious problem that is affecting different parts of my daily life. Yes,
What do you mean exactly? Do you feel like you're using your phone too much? Or is it starting to affect your daily routine, your focus, and maybe even your mood during the day?
I feel like I'm constantly checking it, even when there is no real reason to do it, and it's starting to affect my focus, my productivity, and even my ability to relax.
That sounds really frustrating, especially if you feel like you don't have full control over how often you check your phone or how much time you spend on it.
Sometimes I pick it up without even thinking about it, almost like it's an automatic reaction, and before I realize it, I've spent a long time just scrolling through content that isn't really important.
To be honest, this is something a lot of people struggle with these days because phones are designed to keep our attention, especially with social media and constant notifications.
I think notifications are a big part of the problem, because every time I hear a sound or see something pop up, I feel like I have to check it immediately.
Notifications can be very powerful because they create a habit where you feel like you need to check your phone immediately, even if it's not important at all.
Even when I try to ignore it, I keep thinking about it, which makes it really hard to focus on what I'm doing at the moment.
Over time, this can make it harder to concentrate on tasks because your attention keeps getting interrupted again and again.
It's especially bad in the evening, because I tell myself that I'll just check something quickly, but then I lose track of time and stay on my phone much longer than I planned.
It can also affect your sleep, especially if you use your phone late in the evening, because the light and the content keep your brain active when it should be relaxing.
I've noticed that this affects my sleep, because I go to bed later than I should, and then I feel tired and unfocused the next day.
Have you ever tried setting some boundaries for yourself, like turning off notifications, using focus mode, or putting your phone away at a certain time in the evening?
I've tried to change this habit a few times, but it's really difficult to stay consistent, and after a few days, I usually go back to the same pattern again.
I know it's not easy because habits like this are built over time, and it takes effort and consistency to change them.
It's frustrating, because I know that I'm wasting time, but at the same time it feels hard to stop, like I'm stuck in a cycle.
Instead of trying to completely stop using your phone, which can feel unrealistic, it might be better to reduce your usage gradually and make small improvements step by step.
I think part of the problem is that I don't always realize how often I use my phone during the day, because it happens so automatically.
For example, you could start by identifying the moments when you use your phone the most without thinking, and then try to change just those situations first.
Maybe I need to become more aware of my behavior and start noticing these moments more consciously.
Another idea could be to replace that time with something else, like reading, exercising, or even just taking a short break without looking at a screen.
Trying to change everything at once feels too overwhelming, so I think starting with small changes could be a better approach for me.
The goal is not to eliminate your phone completely, but to use it more consciously and with a clear purpose.
I would really like to feel more in control of my time and be able to focus more on things that actually matter in my life.
Once you become more aware of your habits, you'll start noticing patterns, and that will give you more control over your behavior.
I also want to feel more relaxed in the evening and not feel like my phone is controlling how I spend my time.
It's also important to be patient with yourself because change doesn't happen overnight, and it's normal to go back to old habits sometimes.
I know it won't be easy, but I think it's something I really need to work on if I want to improve my daily routine and feel better overall.
The key is consistency and awareness, not perfection, and over time you'll definitely start to see improvements.
Great job listening. In today's lesson, you learned how to talk about phone addiction and how it can affect your daily life, your habits, and your ability to focus. You heard how to describe a problem, express frustration, and reflect on your own behavior in a natural and honest way. We also practice useful phrases like, I spend too much time on my phone. I can't stop checking it. It's becoming a bad habit. I need to change this. I want to feel more in control of my time. These are very common expressions that you can use in everyday conversations when talking about habits and lifestyle. Try to notice how Emma described her situation step by step and how Patrick responded with understanding and practical advice. This kind of communication is very useful when talking about personal challenges. Also pay attention to how they talked about small changes and gradual improvement. This is important because changing habits usually takes time and consistency. Remember, you don't need to understand every word. Focus on the general meaning, the emotions, and the natural flow of the conversation. You can listen to this lesson again to improve your listening skills and become more confident when speaking about your own habits. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next lesson.